Good afternoon, dear friends of mathematics, dear friends of science. The Norwegian Academy of Science and Letters has decided to award the Abel Prize for 2021 to László Lovász of Alfred Rényi Institute of Mathematics and Eötvös Loránd University in Budapest, Hungary, and Avi Wigderson of the Institute of Advanced Study, Princeton, USA, for their foundational contributions to theoretical computer science and discrete mathematics, and their leading role in shaping them into central fields of modern mathematics. It's now my pleasure to introduce Abel Committee Chair Hans Munthe-Kaas, who will read the citation.
Thank you. Theoretical computer science, TCS, is a study of the power and limitations of computing. Its roots go back to the foundational works of Kurt Gödel, Alonzo Church, Alan Turing, and John von Neumann, leading to the development of real physical computers. TCS contains two complementary sub-disciplines: algorithm design, which develops efficient methods for a multitude of computational problems, and computational complexity, which shows inherent limitations on the efficiency of algorithms. The notion of polynomial time algorithms put forward in the 1960s by Alan Cobham, Jack Edmonds, and others, and the famous P not equal NP conjecture of Stephen Cook, Leonid Levin, and Richard Karp, had strong impact on the field and on the work of Lovász and Wigderson. Apart from its tremendous impact on broader computer science and practice, TCS provides the foundations of cryptography and is now having growing influence on several other sciences, leading to new insights therein by employing a computational lens. Discrete structures such as graphs, strings, and permutations are central to TCS, and naturally, discrete mathematics and TCS have been closely allied fields. While both these fields have benefited immensely from more traditional areas of mathematics, there has been growing influence in the reverse direction as well. Applications, concepts, and techniques from TCS have motivated new challenges and opened new directions of research and solved important open problems in pure and applied mathematics. László Lovász and Avi Wigderson have been the leading forces in these developments of the last decades. Their work interlaces in many ways, and in particular, they have both made fundamental contributions to understanding randomness in computation and in exploring the boundaries of efficient computation. Along with Arjen Lenstra and Henrik Lenstra, László Lovász developed the LLL lattice reduction algorithm. Given a high-dimensional integer lattice, a grid, this algorithm finds a nice, nearly orthogonal basis for it. In addition to several applications, such as an algorithm to factorize rational polynomials, the LLL algorithm is a favorite tool for cryptanalysts, successfully breaking several proposed cryptosystems. Surprisingly, the analysis of the LLL algorithm is also used to design and guarantee the security of newer lattice-based cryptosystems that seem to withstand attacks even by quantum computers. For some exotic cryptographic primitives, such as homomorphic encryption, the only constructions known are via these lattice-based cryptosystems. The LLL algorithm is only one among many of Lovász's visionary contributions. He proved the local lemma, a unique tool to show existence of combinatorial objects whose existence is rare, as opposed to the standard probabilistic method used when objects exist in abundance. Along with Martin Grötschel and Lex Schriever, he showed how to efficiently solve semi-definite programs, leading to a revolution in algorithm design. He contributed to the theory of random walks with applications to Euclidean isoperimetric problems and approximate volume computations of high-dimensional bodies. His paper with Uriel Feige, Shafi Goldwasser, and Shmuel Safra and Mario Segedi on probabilistically checkable proofs gave an early version of the PCP theorem an immensely influential result showing that the correctness of mathematical proofs can be verified probabilistically with high confidence by reading only a small number of symbols. In addition, he solved also long-standing problems such as the perfect graph conjecture, the Kneser conjecture, determining the Shannon capacity of the pentagon graph, and in recent years developed the theory of graph limits in joint work with Christian Borges, Jennifer Chase, Lex Shriver, Vera Soss, Balázs Szegedi, and Katalin Westergombi. This work ties together elements of extremal graph theory, probability theory, and statistical physics. Avi Wigderson has made broad and profound contributions to all aspects of computational complexity, especially the role of randomness in a computation. A randomized algorithm is one that flips coins to compute a solution that is correct with high probability. Over decades, researchers discovered deterministic algorithms for many problems for which only randomized algorithm was known before. The deterministic algorithm for primality testing by Agrawal, Kayal, and Saxena is a striking example of such a de-randomized algorithm. These de-randomization results raise the question of whether randomness is ever really essential. In works with László Lovász, Lance Fortnow, Noam Nisan, and Russell Impagliazzo, Wigderson demonstrated that the answer is likely to be in the negative. Formally, they showed that the computational conjecture, similar in spirit to the P non-equal NP conjecture, implies that P equals BPP. This means that every randomized algorithm can be de-randomized and turned into a deterministic one with comparable efficiency. Moreover, the de-randomization is generic and universal without depending on the internal details of the randomized algorithm. Another way to look at this work is as a trade-off between hardness versus randomness. If there exists a hard enough problem, then the randomness can be simulated by efficient deterministic algorithms. Wigderson's subsequent work with Impagliazzo and Valentin Cabanets proves the converse. Efficient deterministic algorithms, even for specific problems with known randomized algorithms, would imply that there must exist such a hard problem. This work is intimately tied with constructions of pseudo-random or random-looking objects. Wigderson's works have constructed pseudo-random generators that turn a few truly random bits into many pseudo-random bits. Extractors that extract nearly perfect random bits from an imperfect source of randomness. Ramsey graphs and expander graphs that are sparse and still have high connectivity. With Omer Reingold and Salil Vadan, he introduced the zigzag graph product, giving an elementary method to build expander graphs and inspiring the combinatorial proof of the PCP theorem of Irit Dinur, and a memory-efficient algorithm for the graph connectivity problem by Reingold. The latter gives a method to navigate through a large maze while remembering the identity of only a constant number of intersection points in the maze. Wigderson's other contributions include zero-knowledge proofs that provide proofs for claims without revealing any extra information besides the claim's validity, and lower bounds on the efficiency of communication protocols, circuits, and formal proof systems. Thanks to the leadership of Lovász and Wigderson, discrete mathematics and the relatively young field of theoretical computer science are now established as central areas of modern mathematics. And now, to present the popular scientific account of the laureate's work, please welcome Alex Bellos.
I'm now going to present a brief overview of the laureate's work. The area of mathematics rewarded by this year's prize combines the twin fields of discrete mathematics and theoretical computer science. Discrete maths is the maths of discrete things, that is, of things that are separate and distinct as opposed to continuous. For example, the maths of graphs, which are structures like this one, with vertices joined together by edges. One of the most famous problems in graph theory is, how many colours does it take to colour a map such that no two regions that share a border have the same colour? This counts as graph theory since maps are analogous to a particular type of graph. For example, we can colour the counties of Norway using only 3 colours. But if we want to colour the states of the United States, we require 4 colours because of the pattern around Nevada. No two-dimensional map requires more than 4 colours. Now, let's consider this map, which has a few thousand regions. Is it colourable with 3 or 4 colours, such that no two regions sharing a border have the same colour? It sounds like a computer should be able to find the answer quite easily. Wrong. This is a very hard problem. So hard, in fact, that even if we ask the world's most powerful computer, we may not get the answer before the Earth is absorbed by the sun. In the language of theoretical computer science, the map colouring problem is an NP problem, which means very hard to solve, but easy to verify. It's easy to verify because once we're given a 3 colouring of our map, it's easy to check. We just inspect every border. NP problems and the sister concept P problems, which are the problems that are both easy to solve and easy to verify, are concepts that were formulated in the 1970s. They gave rise to a new field within theoretical computer science that concerned itself with the scope and efficiency of algorithms. The greatest open problem in this field is whether it is possible, with the invention of better algorithms, to turn NP problems into P problems. That is P equal to NP? Or is P not equal to NP? If P is equal to NP, then instead of taking millions of years to work out whether you can colour my map with 3 colours, you might be able to do it in a few minutes. The P versus NP conundrum provides early context for much of the work honoured by this year's Abel Prize. The first laureate, László Lovász, was born in Hungary. As a teenager in the mid-1960s, he won gold medals at 3 consecutive international mathematical Olympiads. His early interest was combinatorics, the maths of patterns and counting patterns. During the 1970s, he realised that this area could address fundamental questions in the rapidly growing field of computer science. His work has established crucial connections between discrete maths and theoretical computer science. Lovász has designed powerful algorithms with wide-ranging applications, particularly in cybersecurity. One of his algorithms, the LLL lattice reduction algorithm, is the basis for what are currently the only known encryption systems that can withstand an attack by a quantum computer. The second laureate, Avi Wigderson, born in Israel, has an academic background in computer science. One of the major themes of his work is investigating the role of randomness within computation. Algorithms that use randomization, that is, the simulation of a coin toss, are often extremely powerful. One of Wigderson's favourite concepts, and the one I will focus on now, is the zero-knowledge proof. This is a method in which I can prove something without revealing any information beyond the validity of the claim, hence zero knowledge. It sounds ludicrous that I can prove something to you without revealing any of the details. But I can. Let's return to this map. And let's say that I have discovered a way to colour it in using only 3 colours in the way that I described previously, meaning that no 2 regions that share a border have the same colour. I can use a zero-knowledge proof to prove to you that I have discovered a way to colour it with 3 colours without revealing any information at all about the way I coloured it in. Briefly, I'll show you how it's done. Before I start, some basics. If I have discovered one way to colour my map with 3 colours, I've actually discovered 6 ways, because there are 6 ways of arranging 3 colours. Here are the 6 possible permutations of 3 colours. My zero-knowledge proof begins like this. I'm going to explain using a small segment of my map. First, I randomly choose one of the 6 ways of colouring my map with 3 colours. I then place an envelope in every region. Inside each envelope is a note that describes the colour of that region according to the colouring that I chose. Now, I invite you, that's the person to whom I want to prove that I have a 3-colour colouring of the map, to choose any 2 regions sharing a border and to open the envelopes in these 2 regions. For example, these 2. Because I have coloured the map with 3 colours such that no regions sharing a border have the same colour, it is guaranteed that the colours in the 2 envelopes will be different. You will never open both envelopes and find a 4th colour, or 2 identical colours. Once you have checked the 2 envelopes, I go through the process again. I randomly choose one of the 6 colourings. I place an envelope in each region that contains the colour of that region according to the colouring that I chose. Again, you choose 2 regions sharing a border and open their envelopes, and again, they will reveal different colours. We can continue this game. Every time you will open envelopes with different colours. Eventually, you will be convinced that I have been able to colour my map with 3 colours such that no neighbours share the same colour. Most importantly, I will have convinced you without revealing any information at all about my colourings, since at every stage, the colours chosen were always randomly generated. In other words, if I am able to colour a map with 3 colours, I am able to prove the statement to you without giving you any information at all on how it was done. Wigderson and his collaborators generalised the above method to show that every true mathematical statement has a zero-knowledge proof. Remarkably, I can prove anything to you without giving a shred of evidence beyond the validity of my claim. This idea is now very useful in cybersecurity, where 2 people may want to establish trust without sharing information. Zero-knowledge proofs are but one of the many wonderful mathematical innovations from the huge body of work honoured by the Abel Prize 2021. Thanks to László Lovász and Avi Wigderson, discrete mathematics and theoretical computer science are now established as central areas of modern mathematics. Congratulations from everyone on the Abel committee. First question is, what was your initial reaction when you heard that you'd won the 2021 Abel Prize?
Thank you very much. What could it have been? I was very much surprised. My colleagues at the Academy and the Rényi Institute have pretended that we have a meeting in connection with an interview about my recent research, and then all of a sudden there it was with distinguished guests from Norway announcing the prize. I was absolutely stunned. And then, of course, my next thought was, well, my wife and my family will be glad, and so I was eager to tell them the news.
In what way did the emergence of computers influence the direction of your mathematical career?
That was a very big influence. Hungary had a tradition in research in discrete mathematics, which only maybe it suffices to mention the name of Paul Erdős, who was worldwide the great master in this area. And but it was mostly focused on sort of theoretical research, often motivated by ad hoc problems. And then all of a sudden, with the emergence of computers, this somewhat obscure branch of mathematics became extremely important with the emergence of computers, because computers are based on discrete mathematics, the analysis of computer algorithms. Computers are discrete, they are digital, they work in a discrete way. And so in the 60s and 70s, there was a big, I would say, a merge of these 2 subjects, computers and discrete mathematics, not only in topics, but also on the personal level. So most of those who are distinguished in that area were both mathematicians and computer scientists, and they didn't want to distinguish them between the two possibilities. So I was very, very happy to be part of this big wave, which promoted science very much. It led to completely new ways of looking at complexity, at algorithms, at the structure of mathematics. So we, with some friends, started in Budapest seminars about the theory of computing, and I think we have, in general, been very, very enthusiastic, and also several of the people who attended these conferences have become really outstanding mathematicians / computer scientists. I may mention László Lovász or Eva Tardos, who have remained on the top of their field.
An important theme of your work is the role of randomness in combinatorics and theoretical computer science. Why do you think that the probabilistic method is so powerful in these areas?
Randomness is one of those notions where the theory of computing has shed a completely new light on. So this randomness has been a somewhat obscure notion. John von Neumann said that everybody who uses a random number generator in algorithms, and that's actually an area which John von Neumann promoted very much. So everyone who uses it is in a state of sin, because there was no mathematical foundation of why could such an algorithm work. Now these foundations have been laid, and so we know that how to define good pseudo-random numbers, how to generate them, how to test them. So the progress here was enormous. I was more on the side of using randomness in proofs and algorithms. Using randomness in proofs was one of the, I could say it was the invention of Paul Erdős. He started this area, and he then later with Alfred Rényi developed the theory of random graphs, which became really central in very many areas, from network theory to computer science to statistical physics. So I became quite interested in this, or simply, actually more than that, with Paul Erdős, it became kind of a standard tool, just like a mathematician should not be afraid of writing up a function and differentiating it. In a similar way, a mathematician should not be afraid of looking at constructing some random object if it suits the proof or the algorithm that is done. So I think randomness became central in very many areas of mathematics, and in particular in discrete mathematics and in algorithms. I think this is a very important development of the late 20th and early 21st century.
Congratulations from everyone on the Abel Committee. Can you tell us, what was your first reaction when you heard the news that you'd won the 2021 Abel Prize?
I was very happy to hear it. I was somewhat surprised, and of course I felt very honored.
You've described your field, computational complexity theory, as revolutionizing technology and science. How is it doing this?
Computational complexity and the theory of computation, theory of algorithms in general, is charged with understanding the laws of computation, what can and cannot be done and how efficiently. one just has to remember that algorithms and computation take place not just inside computers or between computer systems, but actually everywhere in nature, in atoms in matter, in friends in Facebook, prices in a network, in economy, and bacteria in a cell, neurons in the brain. Understanding and developing theories for these major scientific questions require understanding the computations in these systems, the resources they take, and the understanding that we are developing in the theory of computation is essential. That's the connection to science and why it will revolutionize it and is revolutionizing it. Similarly, with industry, one has to remember that theory predates industry and technology often. Turing, his definition of algorithm led to the development of computers and the computer revolution that von Neumann here at the Institute was an important part of in the early days. The development of the theory of cryptography and secrets was really what enabled security systems and electronic commerce, and in fact the development, the growth of the internet, because it had applications. Similarly, quantum computing and many other systems, they all rely, and in their guts you have all the know-how of algorithms and data structures that support them.
The most famous open problem in theoretical computer science is whether or not P is equal to NP. What are your thoughts on when this might be resolved, and in which way do you think it will be resolved?
Well, I must say something about the problem. It's one of the deepest intellectual questions ever asked. It became clearer and clearer that it is really about whether we can know everything we want to know, whether creativity can be automated, anything mathematicians or scientists do can be done automatically. Of course, it can be phrased technically as well. And it's about whether or not there exist algorithms for certain problems that seem difficult. It will be resolved. I don't know. It's one of these very hard problems. I hope it's resolved in my lifetime. I'd like to know. I'm pretty sure it will be resolved in the negative, namely that P is different than NP. There are hard problems that we cannot solve efficiently. Yeah.
I thank the Abel Committee for their outstanding work in recognizing these two great scientists. Under normal circumstances, this is the time when I would welcome everyone to Oslo in May to take part in the Abel Prize week. I still hope that the circumstances will allow us to hold the week with many of you present in person. However, much is still uncertain, and we will announce further details in due course on the website for the Abel Prize. I would like to conclude this event by thanking you all for joining us this afternoon for the announcement and the presentation of the 2021 Abel Prize winners. Thank you.